What are your plans? You've already discussed it briefly, but how does 2022 look for you, business and personally?
Yeah, no, that's right. I mean, similar to you. I mean, I'm trying to scale my practice. There's certain clients that, corporate clients that I'd like to be able to represent, and I think they feel more comfortable when they can see that there's a team and it's not a
Yeah,
true solo situation. But one of the things that I think is important is, you need to have a mix of people and experience levels and things, and it's hard to if you have everyone that's entry level, then that's a lot of training for the partner level person. That's what I've experienced. So I'm arguably paying a premium for experienced people that are good. But I think that's part of my strategy. I have some ideas about some geographic areas to approach. I think that the rural economy in the U.S. Here in the Midwest, there's a big labor shortage. Obviously, there's things like H-2As for seasonal agricultural workers, but those are challenging in various ways. But I think there's opportunities in the agricultural community. I think one of the really interesting practice areas, and I've been talking with a couple lawyers and even a business broker, is E2s, not EB5, but E2s, where, one of the trends that this business broker mentioned to me is there's a lot of baby boomers who kind of, if they've weathered their business through the pandemic, they're ready to retire,
yeah,
but there's not as many people available to buy their businesses. These are small, either retail businesses or small manufacturing or various, kind of small businesses that can be successful. And there's real opportunity to try to connect buyers, international buyers. This isn't like, huge M&A type deals, but these are
yeah,
small opportunities. And business brokers, some of them, and maybe again, this is a Midwest thing. I suppose if you're in Miami or Southern California, business brokers and immigration lawyers are working closely together all the time. But here in the Midwest, I think it's less of a common thing. And I think that there's some real opportunities, and maybe even talking to, we've already had some very preliminary discussions with in certain rural areas, because there are um, government officials who want to promote economic development, and part of that is getting businesses into their towns. And to some extent, if they had like three restaurants but two of them closed because of the pandemic, there's a market there. The people still want to go out to eat, but there's no
yeah,
place to go. Now they might have to embrace falafel or something, but there's some opportunities there for E2s for small business that, at least for my practice, traditionally hasn't been a big area. But I think, and in some ways, it's kind of stimulating because there's a lot of creativity in that, and collaboration, and working with different professionals. And so I think that's an important part of an immigration practice, is not feeling stale, right? Like if you just do
yeah.
the same kind of cases all the time, besides intellectually kind of being boring, then you just sort of, it's like it's a little bit stale. So looking for things to excite you about your practice.
For sure, and immigration is full of that. I mean, I undid a lot of my practice area to go marriage based, and I was full solo because it was too overwhelming doing EB1As and L1s. It's just too time consuming. But now that I'm building back, I'm getting out of that field. And L1As kind of worry me because of the inconsistency how they're adjudicated. Is really frustrating. EB1As as well. What I like about EB1As is that their criteria, which you can kind of argue, even though I see constantly colleagues having to file lawsuits for even like really simple stuff that should match the criteria. So it gets really frustrating, but these options are available, and they're there. So if you have the bandwidth to do them and handle the art fees that are ridiculous, potentially even doing litigation yourself or having that planned out with a colleague in case it pops up, it's kind of one of those things you have to tell clients about from the very beginning. You might have to sue to win, even though you're correct. The government won't do it until the judge orders them to do it, or at least embarrass the government in front of the government for them to be able to do it.